I'm getting down to the scraps of my Mint Julep pad, and I am going to try and finish this pad off with some cards. Hey guys, it's Beth. Welcome. I am down to scraps on the Mint Julep pad, so that is good, but I have a lot of scraps left. I have taken some sheets and cut them down to 4 by 5¼ inch card mats, kind of the ones that were more of a solid background or presented as more of a solid. And then I have these bigger scraps, a little pile of smaller scraps, and then there was one page that was orange roses. So it's like pink background, orange roses. And I had one full sheet of that left. And so I decided to go through and fussy cut out as many of the roses as I could. And luckily, they were really quick fussy cuts. There was not a whole lot of detail. It was kind of, easy flow. And then I took some of the other scraps that I had over on my other desk that were left from, I think when I was cutting down an envelope, I miscut or misscored or something. And so I took those scraps and did some die cutting with them. I have had all of my dies out for a while now, trying to die cut out some of my other scraps. And so since I had everything out, I just thought I would do some die cuts. So I have some sentiments and some more flowers, so that will give me some embellishments. So this is what I have left of this pad, and we're going to finish it off with cards. I will be using card sketches, and I will link the ones I use in the description box of this video. I'm not sure if this is going to be a 1-part or 2-part video with the cards. It depends on how long it goes, how many cards I end up making. So we'll see, but I'm hoping that's the end of this. I love the patterns. Again, I just don't like the weight of the paper. It's been kind of hard to work with. So anyway, that's what we've got to work with. So let's get making some cards. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and stop this video here because I'm sure it's getting long. I've made just over 50 cards so far, and I let that pile go. I went through, these are the scraps that I have left. There were a couple sheets I went ahead and cut down to make some more card mats because I was running low on the card mats from the paper. And I may end up pulling in some cardstock card mats as well, but I have a handful or two of some of like the longer, wider strips and then a bunch of the little strips. I did use all of the really small pieces and dug into some of the larger strips on the insides of the cards just because I had so many of those little small pieces. I wanted to go ahead and get those cleaned up and like used. So I feel like I have made all of the big batch cards. So most of these, there's like 4 or 6 or 8 of each card sketch that I used. I always like to start with those and, make as many cards as I can of each sketch, just because it makes the process go so much quicker, like when you're making 50 cards. It definitely helps to make as many cards as you can of each one. Now, what I have left here, and the reason I feel like this is a good stopping point, is because now I'm getting into some smaller pieces, and I'm probably going to be doing like smaller batches of each card design. So it'll be probably less cards, but it's going to take a little more time because it's going to be like 1 or 2 of each sketch. So it'll just take a little bit longer to get through. So what I'm going to do next is look through my sketches to see what might be good for the scraps that I have left. I still have like some bits and pieces that I had punched. I have some fussy cut roses left, and I do still have some of these sentiments that I had, like hello sentiments that I had die cut out of some scraps in the very beginning. I had brought over some bits and pieces of white cardstock from the little bin I keep on my desk of white scraps. And I think I may go ahead and pre-stamp some of these just to make this next batch go a little quicker. I won't have to stamp each time. I do have a few stamp sentiments left in my little dish there, and so I will go ahead and do some more, and then hopefully that'll help me work through this last round a little quicker, but we're getting closer. One thing I wanted to note, you've heard me complain about the weight of the paper. One reason thin paper is hard to use, it's hard to punch. Like my corner rounder usually does really well with any paper, like this good old Creative Memories one, but this paper is so thin, it just kind of gets caught in there. It's like it doesn't, or it just bends with the punch. It's hard to describe. At one point I was going to bring in a scalloped circle punch, but I was kind of afraid that the scallops wouldn't cut cleanly. So I just stuck with the just regular circle punches for the sentiments and the backers. So that's just something to note about the thinner paper. But other than that, it worked well for these cards. And you also saw me use in some cases the white side. Like here, I didn't want to bring in cardstock because this paper is so thin. You would have seen, even if I used thin white cardstock, you would have seen the bump from where I put the white strip. So I just used the back side of the pattern paper for those. And then I believe it was these. I actually punched some circles to use just to give the roses a little bit of dimension. So that was another way to kind of use up some of those smaller bits that I had. So that's all I wanted to point out from this batch. 52 cards down, more to come. Stay tuned. We'll probably do the last round of cards and maybe just a quick project wrap up for the next video with this collection. Thank you guys so much for your time today. I will post the card sketches that I used in the description box below. But thanks for your time and hope you all have a wonderful crafty day.